why I'm bombing sweeping up the new. This isn't going to get any better. So, unlike the Skyline, we do have a half chance of getting this done in our lifetime, because whilst this does look like pre-game tetanus will be required, Triumph, unlike Nissan, do support you with every single component. So I just need to get it in the air now and work out just how fucked it actually is.
The birds fly a lot better than we do. See how they wheel and bank and fly? Perfect.
Aye, switcheroo.
All in one. Wings, body, tail, all in one.
So we've seen how the Japanese like to make things rust. Let's now touch on what Britain has to offer. And I'll stipulate this right now. This car's 50 years old, so we can give it a bit of a hall pass because, well, it's had a good life. But it'll have more life if we can just deal with the following. We'll start from the front. This, we should have maybe demonstrated earlier on. This entire front end bonnet assembly flips forward, this whole clamshell thing. Now that's supported by what's remaining of that, which is going to need chopped down and repaired. The good news is that's the only part of what is a ladder frame chassis, as you can see behind my head. The rest of it's actually really solid. I guess having a British car with multiple oil leaks helps with it. Yeah, this is the owner.
Self-undersealing.
Self-undersealing, this is Daniel. So what we've got, however, is the rest of the body, which that's for ventilation, naturally.
Yeah.
What I'm guessing has happened here is at some point in the past, the evidence points to, there's holes everywhere, by the way, we're not going to go through everyone because we'll be here all fucking night.
Yeah.
But seat base at the back here, starting to crumble. Now this is the clue we have that this car's had multiple repairs in the past. Because if you look at the other side, there is what looks like a conveniently cut out hole with more metal welding above it. So I think this has had various patches in the past because there's clearly at the front end like that kind of staccato-y pigeon shit weld where some stuff's been put in and there's metal above it. The problem with that is it's created a vapour trap and caused what's left at the bottom.
It's actually made the rust worse.
Yeah, to rot out. See example here. This is metal straight above rotted metal. Towards the back though, it's not a really horrific story. We've got body shell, which we'll get to on the outside. This is just a horrific repair in the past. But the rest of the back, that's I'm going to clarify that as being outside body panels. Yeah. The only other thing, what have we got that needs done under here? You were talking about this.
We've got this heel board, which actually on this side looks reasonably good.
So the heel board's basically where the trailing arms for the axle bolts onto, stroke where the backs of the seat would be.
It's probably one structural bit on this whole body shell, to be honest, is the trailing arm mounts. So
we'll obviously get that stripped off and get a proper look at it, but it seems solid. It's taken a hammer without having.
We've got a full heel board panel and the brackets and everything anyway. So
yeah,
if they're not good enough, then we'll
work it out. We'll work it out. But having inspected underneath, it's not horrific. It's not great, but
it's worse than we thought. But
yeah, let's have a look at what's going on up the top now.
We've got some crusty bits on the quarter panel, which we've got full panel for, and some bad replacements here in the past where someone's, rather than just doing the whole panel, they've done a nice along here, which if you come around the other side, you can actually see the crack. Someone's had a go at welding that in rather than just doing the whole panel. But luckily we've got quarters. I mean, the main thing is like bootwood, we're just going to go for a fiberglass one. So we don't need to worry about even touching the boot lid. Bonnet, again, go for a fiberglass one. So we don't need to do any repairs on those, just change them. This is the bit that we're going to have fun with.
So as we said, underneath we can get away with just kind of like doing square panel-y patchy wells that you don't really need to worry about because you don't see them. But this bit here is very, very, very visible. We don't have a repair panel, which is really odd considering this is like a choppy out panel. So we're going to have to make some form of repair on this. And you can see it's literally just water sits on these studs and they've just kind of rotted the studs out completely. I don't think they're all like this, but we're going to...
These ones here are going to another panel, bolts on, but we've got a couple I think in these corners that are...
So we're a bit late in the day, the sun's starting to set. However, we've got a full weekend ahead of us. So the first thing we're going to do, I reckon we'll whip the roof off, we'll whip the interior out because there's now clearly a lot of floor welding to be done. See how bad it looks from above and get a game plan. Shall we also write a list? We've not done a list in a while.
Someday, I'm going to build a plane that will be just like a bird.
Just for clarity, that's letter 3. Would you like to see? There's some amount of debris in here. The idea I'm going to guess here is we get this carpet out just to see what nick the floor's in. However, that's as far as my ideas go because harnesses bolted straight through the carpets.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got an ATV roll cage as well, look. Very much the first stage of any restoration is work out what the fuck you're actually dealing with. There's going to be a bit of death to carpets. There is also one for the botanists. We don't know if this is squirrel shit or mouse shit or dry popcorn is what it kind of looks like. So, I don't know what you've been eating here.
I don't know what that is. It's like...
I mean, I've seen The Last of Us. I'm pretty sure that's cordyceps, maybe.
That fucking small thing.
Actual what, Hoover?
Spitfire bird.
You call it? Another one.
Faster, always faster.
What a strange looking machine.
Can't see us spit in the air without getting a kick out of it.
Why, it is like a bird.
A Spitfire bird.
Very weird. It's very strange. That's almost as if it's been like cut.
I think it's
Oh no, is it just the paint? Maybe it's the paint split.
Oh, look, here's an issue for later.
Yes.
Tetanus time. It's just a silly wee sunken floor plan with 0 drain holes to catch water in.
Yes, I'm assuming that's why it's went.
Yeah, that's a bit fucking odd. Anyway, you can tell the car used to be white.
Yeah, it was. That's what the wee paint plaque says on it, that it was originally white.
Ooh. It's really just the lowest points, just these wee...
Somebody's went to the effort there of actually putting some sealer over it so that it stays intact.
Ooh. Ew. That's been a weld from, I don't know, Fred Flintstone?
Yeah, we're cutting that off, aren't we?
Yeah, for the sake of everybody's safety, that's...
Well, we have this panel, so we have these brackets, and we have this whole piece here.
So that's the same piece that we see on the other side, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we cut that off and we can actually see the axle from there.
Yeah, but that's your fueling armament right there.
Fuck's sake, alright, okay.
See, for the sake of time, do we just buy 2 floors?
You want to go price it up and we'll have a think about it. And what we can do in the meantime, if we're waiting from the arrive, which will probably be next week now, we can just start doing it. Just start getting it ready for it. Yeah. I don't imagine what with it being a separate chassis, we're going to have to worry about joggly alignment, weldy in nonsense.
That's not pleasant, is it?
That's a slightly different story, yeah. So the other point to note as well here is this section here is what I was talking about when we were under the car. So the 4th section of that underneath is gone. So the question we ask ourselves here is, do we just cut that out and start again? Clyde built test to see how well this would have fared. honest. Like it's still.
It's actually feeling a lot better than I thought it would.
I was honestly expecting.
I thought you'd go straight through that.
Oh, listen to that. Proper classic car door handles. The mechanical procedure of all that's going on behind there to just open the door. Right, so today's deck corrector menu is as follows. We've had a look. The only real surprise we've had off the back of this is the floors. So we had a suspicion the floors might be a bit crusty, but as confirmed, they're quite bad. They're also the only panel that we've not bought yet, so we're going to get them on order. It just means that next step is going to be starting to cut things out. We'll need to be a bit canny with that because we don't know exactly how much floor we're going to have to weld back in. So we're going to start removing metal. But what we're going to do is chop and prep the floor, so cut it out with enough margin safely there for us to weld back onto. The floor needs to come out because our rear heel plate, which is the bit at the back of the seats, they host the trailing arms for the rear suspension. They're going to have to come out because it's not been repaired well in the past. It's okay, it's solid, but we're doing all this work, we might as well do it right, so we're going to replace that completely, which means we're going to take the trailing arms out. After that, we're going to look at the rear valves, get that off by asking it nicely, I think. Following that, our rear quarters that the valves goes onto, they'll need to come off as well. And then lastly, the boot floor repairs like we discussed, and then sills. We've left the sills to last for a number of reasons, not because, well, you know, they're easy, but they're also in the way. So our ramp actually holds the car up through where the sills need to come off. So we'll get the rest of the stuff chopped out of the way. We'll see if what we've got off of the car allows us to get easy access to the sills, and if it doesn't, well, fuck. As you'll know, I swore off deck correctors after I did the Skyline because that was hell. Everything had to be made from scratch. The good thing about Triumph Heritage, they have almost, and we'll come back to this later, almost every panel you could ever need to put back on the car. But how good are they? Let's find out. Don't ever break down in a Triumph without a friend. Yeah. Because it's a two-man job to open this big boy. But while it's up, here is the lump. One twin 40. So this is what, the 13? 45. 45, I stand corrected. This is what, the 1300?
1300 large journal.
I don't know what any of that means, but I'll take your word for it.
Cost cutting exercise.
So this looks suspiciously like an A series Mini.
It's a similar idea. 8-port head though.
Right.
So non-cross flow, but you've got.
Oh yeah, so it is.
So you get four inlets, 4 exhaust.
Much like an MG Midget or similar, it's amazing how little exists in front of your feet with regards to structure. Because all of that.
Crash safety was not a big priority.
Yeah, all of this is completely removable, which is good for us because as we've not discussed any of this, you know, it is rotten, but it's also getting replaced with glass fibre. So.
Yeah, so you just get a full fiberglass replacement with the GT6 bulge in the middle as well. So
for all the V8 that's going in it?
No V8s.
As you can see, the sill comes up and there's a recess for the clamshell to contact on it here. Both sides we've inspected up. Really, this is an exercise in replacing everything where water would sit. So from this point down in the whole car, it's at risk of being utterly fucked. But from here up, like these, nice and solid. All of this seems okay. You know, we've had the hammer of truth.
Surface rust, but
yeah, hammer of truth has unveiled no horrors.
But it looks like the Heritage, apart from that, we'll ignore that just now. Apart from the good thing with the Heritage panels is it looks like they actually give us all this.
A right good chunk of meat, that's good.
It looks like it.
Well, let's offer one up and see what it looks like. Getting to that point of the day where we forget where we put entire fucking panels. Oh yeah. Where did I? How could you forget? A significant amount of metal that we get with that. That's good.
So that's going to literally, that'll be pretty good. That's going to basically go all the way, well, it's going to go all the way up to that edge. Look.
So we can pretty much cut.
Look, it actually goes follows the curve, so
Jesus.
that's
useful.
That's pretty good. We've also got end caps as well for these.
But another thing for the list that we probably won't do, but we'll just skip to the end part, we'll need to take these off. Because, that's going to be fun.
Doorless. Good thing is though, it looks like with these, if we go and look at a quarter panel, so you end up with what is a factory seam.
So that is me completely reneging on saying I wasn't going to do any more rush repairs. We can build a bridge and go over that. As you can see, I have a lot on the plate with this one. There's, I would say, more rust than I've ever seen on any repair I've done in a car to date. But that's not to say it can't be repaired. The good thing about this guy is every single panel is more or less available off the shelf, and the proper pattern parts. So we just need to get most of this chopped out and then start throwing new metal in. The good part is we have more or less got to that point. We've got the sills off, we've got everything else off. We are in good shape to start thinking about welding in the next episode. So until then, if you've just found this because you like Triumphs, as you can probably gather, there's going to be a lot more to come. So hit the like, subscribe, bell, all that jazz. If you fancy doing a bit more than that, patreon.com/toolsandtrack, behind the scenes stuff, help support this kind of nonsense. And until next week guys, stay safe.